My apologies for not posting a video last weekend. For those of you who don't know, I've been flat on my back for the past 2 weeks with COVID. And while I'm still recovering, I wanted to briefly give you my thoughts on Chapter 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. This week's video is brought to you by the support from Hero of the Empire, I'm just happy to be a stormtrooper, Adam Jordan. We are truly grateful for your service, my friend. If you'd like to help keep the channel alive, donate to our PayPal today, or at the very least, give us a like and share this video with your friends to help us catch up on the views we lost last weekend since I was so sick. So what did I think of the show? Well, Chapter 5 of the Book of Boba Fett was pretty wizard, but I think we must address the blue elephant in the room here. A better title for this episode would have been the Book of Boba Fett, because sad as it is, the best episode of this series so far doesn't feature Fett at all. It honestly plays like the first episode of Season 3 of The Mandalorian. And not only was Fett's absence a little jarring, it also served as a painful reminder of how much I'd rather be watching The Mandalorian than the Book of Boba Fett. And I see what you're doing, Mando. Don't think I didn't notice you stealing my catchphrase this episode. You're stealing everybody's thunder this time around. Our story begins with Mando tracking a bounty in a meatpacking plant run by a bunch of Klatooinians. And in the dog-eat-dog world of bounty hunting, things get dicey in a hurry as Mando fights off a group of pound puppies. After burning his own leg with the darksaber like a noob, Mando comes out ahead, splitting the difference and cutting his mark down like a dog. Mando throws his beheaded foes' men a bone, telling them they can keep their boss's credits if they just let him walk out of there with his head in a doggy bag. After collecting his space dough, Mando uses his Predator Vision mode from Arkham Asylum, but instead of looking for Riddler trophies, he's looking for Mandalorian graffiti to show him the way to the new culvert. Here he meets with the Armorer, and it was pretty wizard to see her again. She melts down his Beskar spear since it can pierce Mandalorian armor, and Mando asks her to make something special for Grogu out of the Beskar. And honestly, at this point I bet they're gonna bring the little guy back, because someone in marketing probably realized, crap, we're losing all the non-Star Wars fans that were only watching our shows for the little green Muppet baby. So Luke will probably end up telling Mando Grogu has too much of an attachment or something like that so he can't be trained as a Jedi. That way all the fans get Baby Yoda, and Disney can keep selling that sweet, sweet Baby Yoda merch. Anyway, we get a little backstory on the Fall of Mandalore, where the Empire sent TIE bombers to nuke them from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. And after a little sparring to teach Mando how to use the darksaber better, Mando is given a quest to find the living waters beneath the mines of Mandalore to purify himself for taking off his helmet, which will probably be the focus of Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Din Djarin takes the space bus to Tatooine and meets up with Richard Simmons and her gang of pit droids to buy a new ship to replace the Razor Crest. And after a little A-Team style building montage, Mando takes his Naboo Starfighter for a spin, and this is pod racing. Not only are the visuals incredible in this sequence, it brought back some good memories of the Boonta Eve classic from when I was a youngling, seeing Mando fly through Beggar's Canyon and other iconic locations from Episode 1. When he gets back to the spaceport, Fennec Shand shows up to remind everyone, oh yeah, this is Boba Fett's show, and offers Mando a job. Mando accepts, but says he needs to visit a little friend first, which makes me wonder if Luke is training Grogu at Ben Kenobi's old house on Tatooine, or if Mando's going to fly off in his Naboo Starfighter to find Luke and Grogu somewhere else across the galaxy. Either way, it has me interested in the next episode so I can find out. I will say, as good as this episode is, it is very strange to me how they spent a whole episode setting up the next season of Mandalorian when you only have 7 episodes to tell a story about Boba Fett. Mando could have just shown up and said like, hey, got your message about the Pikes, and that's all the explanation they would have needed. But instead, they used an entire episode of a very limited series to set up the next season of The Mandalorian, instead of focusing on the task at hand, telling Boba's story. Not only did it make Boba Fett's situation feel like an afterthought, it made me want to get this series over with even quicker, because I'd much rather see what's ahead for Mando. The episode was aptly named The Return of the Mandalorian, because not only was it a return of the character Din Djarin, the world-building, quality of visuals, and action from the Mandalorian series made a return in this episode as well. I enjoyed Bryce Dallas Howard's directing, and I would honestly love to see her direct a Star Wars feature film one day, because she did an excellent job with this chapter. And for the first time in this series, I actually want to see what happens next. A sad commentary on the Book of Boba Fett indeed, when the best episode of the series does not feature Boba Fett whatsoever. But supposedly these last 2 episodes are going to be great, so I guess we'll have to just wait and see how this series shakes down. But those are my thoughts on the episode. What did you think of it? Comment below and let me know. And if you're new here, join the Empire today by subscribing. You do not yet realize your importance. Share these videos, and together we will rule the internet. Thank you to each and every one of you who help spread the word about this channel by sharing my videos with your family and friends. It is greatly appreciated. Hopefully next weekend I'll be feeling a bit more chipper, like my usual self. Until next time, may the Force be with you, and always remember, you don't know the power of the dark side.